What's going on, guys? You're listening to the 8th out of 8 videos of us reviewing each division, free agency moves. This is the AFC West. If this is the first one you're watching, you should definitely check out the other 7. But what we do, if this is the first time you're watching, is we're going to go team by team in the AFC West and look at the major free agency signings, trades, who they lost, what to expect from each team in this division, who's going to win this division, yada, 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 and grades. Grades are definitely part of it, who or what grade each signing, each trade, whatever it is. Glad to have you with us, Johnny Fogel, Nick Freeman, Nick Falk. Hope everybody's staying safe out there and is social distancing.
Yeah.
I know I am. And
it's why we're on Skype. I assume everyone's got some free time, so please check out our other videos. This is a terrible virus, but we're going to keep delivering our content even more now. So please check us out.
All right. Starting with the Denver Broncos. A.J. Bouye, who was acquired in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars in exchange for a 2020 fourth-round pick. Nick Falk, Nick Freeman, how are we feeling about this trade?
I don't know. It's okay. So, like, people on paper, you're like, oh, man, A.J. Bouye is a good corner. This is a solid trade for the Broncos.
He's definitely
But he
fallen off.
really hasn't been good over the past 2 years. So, maybe they can make him work. I don't know. I don't love it.
They need
of course, a fourth-round pick
cornerback.
isn't much. Yeah.
Yeah, they need. It's pretty low risk, and they need another guy in that secondary. They got like Kareem Jackson at cornerback. Bryce Callahan's coming back, but they lost Chris Harris Jr., so they don't have a true number one. Having that rotation, a guy with playoff and being a top cornerback experience will help. So I like it. I give it a B.
Yeah, I like it, and their secondary would be looking pretty dim. It is right now, but it'd be looking a lot worse if they didn't have A.J. Bouye.
All right, moving on to the next one. Jerrell Casey, acquired in a trade with the Tennessee Titans, who we talked about in our last video, AFC South, in exchange for a 7th-round pick. I think we said it was a money thing, but we said that the Broncos won.
They just signed to the Titans. I think last year gave him a 4-year, $60 million deal. It was pretty hefty for 2-year pass rusher.
Yeah.
Are we saying
really
that?
hefty.
Are we saying that this is a good deal for the Broncos?
Yes. Yeah. For sure. I love this as the Broncos. This just seems like someone who'd be on the Broncos. Like he kind of plays. He plays like Derek Wolfe, and who's been an interior lineman there for a while.
He's younger,
I love
more
it.
athletic than Derek Wolfe.
He might be the same age. Jerrell Casey's old. Yeah,
they're both like high 20s, early 30s. I'm not sure the exact. I'll check right now.
Yeah, and I just love it as a fit on the Broncos, and he's a really underrated player. He's not as good as he used to be probably 2 years ago, but he fits well, and of course the 7th-round pick is not.
Yeah, they give up like nothing. They're both 30 years old.
All right, moving on to the next one. Graham Glasgow.
Back to Casey really quick.
Okay.
I really like how he fits in between Von Miller and Bradley Chubb.
And we all know that
middle presence.
We all know that head coach, what is his
Vic
name?
Fangio.
Vic Fangio loves his defensive linemen, loves defense, as you can see.
He can
3
run
of their 4 signings.
Akeem Hicks role.
Yeah, the Broncos defense could be good next year. Von Miller,
Really
Bradley Chubb, and Jerrell Casey sounds like an amazing defense.
Justin Simmons.
Yeah,
Kareem
I was
Jackson,
just mentioning
Alexander
those.
Johnson.
Yeah.
That moves me on to my next one. Justin Simmons' team placed a franchise tag on him. This is beneficial for them. We didn't think they were going to pay him. Breakout year.
Yeah. Smart. He had
this was expected
last year. Yeah, he's an amazing safety last year, but it was a contract year, so you need to be a little wary. So I think the franchise tag is smart. Give him a chance before he gets that full extension.
We're expecting Flacco to be cut. Am I right? I believe
he did get cut. He has
been cut, which is good. It's a big risk. Do you think it's a big risk? Oh my God, I'm so out of it with the NFL. Is it a big risk? Drew Lock. Do you think that Drew Lock is going to be what they're looking for?
They went 4-1 with him. He was never that good, but he clearly seemed like a winner. I think it's a risk going on in Drew Lock, but I think they have to do it. It's not like keeping Flacco is going to make them a better team.
Yeah.
So I agree with it.
This is expected. Of course, I agree with it. I don't know about Drew Lock because last year they kind of catered to his every need. They kind of threw little short passes and then like simple play actions when you threw a deep ball. So they put him in an amazing situation to succeed. But, you really can't do that when you need to start winning games as a full-time starter.
At the same time, though, his only real receiver was Courtland Sutton. So
Courtland Sutton had a great year, though.
Some better weapons. Yeah,
but it just seemed the system was just really simple for him.
Mm-hmm. They'll have to make him.
I don't know what it is.
He's definitely not a great quarterback.
It seems like a consistent pattern in the NFL, or not consistent, but it's happening
a lot. He could be good.
I guess that's the definition of consistent, but a lot of coaches are kind of sitting on fences, like with which quarterbacks they want. Like we saw Josh Rosen move from the Cardinals to the Dolphins. Now he might move to the Patriots, and then Joe Flacco and Case Keenum were on the Broncos, and now they're using Drew Lock, who started out last year as the third string quarterback, and here we are. So I don't know. Is it really fair to the quarterbacks to just keep moving around like this?
I mean, this has
like
been a
recurring draft.
Yeah. This has been a recurring theme in NFL history, but now more than ever, I think I totally agree with what you're saying, especially since teams are like this year, the Redskins are thinking about drafting another quarterback because they drafted one with the 16th pick last year.
15th, I believe.
Yeah. And he wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
The way I feel about it, quarterback is by far the most important position in football.
Absolutely.
And if you think you're upgrading there, that results in wins. You got to do it. So whatever it takes to get the best quarterback possible.
Yeah, you just got to know which way the wind is blowing. But moving on to the next one. Graham Glasgow, offensive guard, agreed to a 4-year, $44 million contract, $25 million guaranteed. Thoughts on this?
He's a former Michigan offensive guard, so Nick and I both have watched him. He's very solid. He's not too flashy, but he brings what you need at the guard position. It might be a little too much money, but I mean, he's going to do well.
I was kind of surprised when I saw this deal. 4 years, $44 million. Like, man, he got his payday because that's a lot, especially for an interior guy who doesn't have a ton of potential going forward. He's young still, but he doesn't have a ton of potential going forward. So, I like the signing, but I feel like they didn't need to pay him 4 years, $44 million for an
needs on
interior
that
offensive lineman.
They do have needs on that offensive line, though. They just lost McGovern in free agency. Ronald Leary was terrible last year. And Garrett Bowles, their tackle, was just a turnover machine. I mean, not a turnover machine, a penalty machine.
A holding machine, yeah.
What's a realistic expectation for this Broncos team in 2020?
I think they have a shot at the playoffs. I think if Drew Lock can make that next step with what we saw with Drew Lock, they could be at 10-6.
This division is hard, so it's up in the air. But, this division is also up in the air in general. So I'm not really sure. It could go either way. Yeah, this is a team I can't see blowing up. I can't see them blowing up like a team like the Cardinals becoming 13-3.
It's because they're
maybe see them going 11-5. Yeah, okay. I agree with that. I mean, I love Courtland Sutton. I love what they're doing. I think their ceiling is probably 11-5 though.
What we got next?
We've got the Kansas City Chiefs, defending, reigning Super Bowl champions of the world. And they re-signed Chad Henne. That's a big signing. The team did not. Michigan man, obviously. So Chris Jones, franchise tag placed on him. We expected that.
Seems to be their only significant move.
And Damian Williams picked up a $2.3 million contract for 2021 Williams. I'm thinking with the Chiefs, especially, it's not like sounding like a broker. If it's not broke, don't fix it. This Chiefs team is really good. I wouldn't want to hop off the bandwagon, and I would want to be on this team.
So they do not have cap, but the thing that concerns me a little bit is the teams like the 49ers and the Ravens are like making moves. They're making moves, and they don't have that much money either, especially the Ravens.
But
so that definitely concerns me.
None of those teams has Patrick Mahomes though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come rain or shine, Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to bring you back from being 10 down, 24 down, but you know what I mean, etc.
Yeah, I know. That was just a slight little.
This Chiefs team, no matter what it is, they still have a lot of holes on their defense. Their secondary is pretty bad. Without Chris Jones, their defensive line would be terrible. So a really good job bringing him back, even if it's just a franchise tag.
Andy Reid.
With their limited resources, they need to go all in on their defense. You can tell their offense is capable of winning a Super Bowl. So
in some of our other mock draft videos, the Chiefs are in the later rounds, and we had them take someone like Patrick Queen, someone in the middle who has
an
speed.
AJ Terrell.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
I'm saying, or a cornerback like that. So
yeah.
But moving on to the new Las Vegas Raiders. That's a little weird. That's going to take some time to get used to. But they signed Eli Apple, agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with the Raiders.
By the way, at the start, I really like the Raiders free agency.
I do too.
There were a few questionable signings, but
I still do.
They were low money, and their higher money ones I think were really smart.
So Eli Apple, how are we feeling about this? He's originally started with the Giants. I'm sorry, Giants.
So he
has locker room cancer, but he's definitely improved.
He can bring value in the slot.
Yeah, but it's low risk.
Cornerback.
He isn't proven, but low risk.
Let's be real. This Raiders locker room is going to be terrible either way.
As it was going to be last year, Richie Incognito, the All-Pro, again.
I don't know if he made it, but he was good.
He was very good last year.
Yeah, perfect and Brown.
I think he was All-Pro. Doesn't really matter. I'm not going to beat this dead horse, but Jeff Heath signing with the Raiders on a 2-year deal worth up to $8 million.
Yeah, he's not very good. He's pretty washed.
This was the Raiders, in my opinion, had a good free agency. I agree with Nick. This is one of their worst deals, even though it's low price. It's not very good.
Low risk, high reward is, I think, most. But you're not going to get any reward.
Low risk, low reward.
Yeah, low risk, low reward.
Yeah.
Nick,
might be able to.
The next person who signed, linebacker Nick. I'm going to need your help with this one. Thank you, linebacker.
Nick
yeah. So I give him a shout out.
3-year, $21 million contract with $13.5 million in guarantees.
A really great deal. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little. The Raiders had a big hole at linebacker, and they went out and got Nick Kwiatkowski and Corey Littleton. Both have 3-year deals. Both really good coverage linebackers. Kwiatkowski last year, he didn't start, but he came in because of a Trevathan injury and just produced like crazy. He's definitely deserving of a starting role, and I think he probably underpaid him. Like he's a really
you mentioned Corey Littleton, right? You mentioned Corey Littleton.
They signed into
Corey Littleton. He was signed, and also Carl Nassib, defensive end, signing with the Raiders, 3-year, $25 million.
So Carl Nassib, not Carl Nassib. But the two...
I can't read. I pretty much can't read last names.
The two middle linebackers...
The only English Johnny can do is idiom.
Pretty much, yeah.
The two middle linebackers are two of my favorite signings in free agency. Corey Littleton adds much-needed speed to the Raiders' defense. And Nick Kwiatkowski linebacker.
Kwiatkowski. Close
I
enough.
would say Littleton's probably a top 5 coverage linebacker in the league. Like they really got to steal with this guy. He's going to be huge for them.
And then the other one, who I think John Gruden honestly might be on cloud 9 about this because we know he loves quarterbacks. Marcus Mariota agrees to terms of contracts with the Raiders. Derek Carr.
Wait, is that guy's an idiom?
Is Derek Carr's job in jeopardy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
It's a little bit. I mean, Mariota, a change of scenery, it might be like a wake-up call for him to show his true potential. I mean, Carr's definitely going to start out the season, or he should start out the season as a starter, because he hasn't been bad. He's pretty average.
He's thrown for 4,000 yards the past 3 years. He was in the MVP race a couple years ago when the Raiders went 12-4, and then he broke his leg.
More MVP votes in his career than Russell Wilson.
There you go.
Just a fun fact.
There you go.
This is okay, but this is really surprising when I saw Marcus Mariota got signed. And back to your question about does it put pressure on Derek Carr? Yeah, it does. It's kind of like a slap in the face. John Gruden's like, all right, we're going to just go sign Marcus Mariota. Let's see what he can do.
I kind of disagree. I think it's good pressure. Give him a backup who he's going to have to compete with. He's going to have to step it up a little bit. And either way, one of them will be average.
Never liked Marcus Mariota that much, to be honest with you. He just is a classic Pac-12 quarterback. He's very quiet.
What do you mean by classic Pac-12?
Runs a lot.
Okay.
Just very fast. He runs like the wind.
What was your classic Big 12 quarterback?
Big 10 quarterback.
Okay, the classic quarterback. I view, even though he was an SEC quarterback, I view Ryan Tannehill as a perfect Big 10 quarterback. And let me explain to you why. Okay, this guy, he's great at throwing when he needs to, but most of the time he's handing the ball off. Okay, but every time if I was a Titans fan, like a Jack Cohn, who's the Wisconsin quarterback. But here's the thing about Big Ten quarterbacks: they're great at completion percentage. Jack Cohn, top 7. I think he was number 7 this year. That's why I said top 7 in completion percentage in the NCAA. Ryan Tannehill, top 10 in QBR, top 10 in completion
let's go.
percentage.
Are we including Justin Fields?
Are we including Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson's more of an ACC quarterback.
Are we including Alex Hornibrook? Because he's just freaking awful.
Alex Hornibrook is absolute garbage, but
are we including Denard Robinson?
But that is besides the point.
Let's get back.
On to the biggest signing of free agency to date. Jason Witten agrees to terms with the Raiders on a 1-year deal. Nick Freeman, explain your conspiracy with Jason Witten.
Yeah. I talked about this in the NFC episode. Check it out. But my theory is that he's going to stay in the NFL until people forget how bad he was on Monday Night Football.
Horrible.
So then,
terrible.
When everyone forgets, he'll be able to get another announcing job. That's the only reason he's still in the league. But being real, they don't have a needed tight end at all. But Jason Witten's probably a great guy to have on your football team, and he's pretty cheap.
100%.
So
100%.
It makes sense for John Gruden.
So for me, yeah, go ahead.
I think Jason Witten can step in also and be a mentor for Darren Waller, who's faced a lot of off the field issues, who's a young tight end, and also Foster Moreau, another young tight end. So even though he might not have much production, he could have almost like a coaching role there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So I like the mentorship and stuff. And he's joining all of his Monday Night Football crew buddies over there.
Yeah, birds of a feather flock together. 2 color commentators. One who's good, one who's bad. But
Okay. So Foster Moreau and Darren Waller there, I don't know if they really need a tight end.
Darren Waller is a receiver, pretty much.
Yeah, but Foster Moreau had like 6 touchdowns last year. Like, he's not even that bad of a backup. So.
That's true.
He just blocks and does stuff.
But honestly, if I'm taking Jason Witten comparably, like, to Darren Waller, you're kind of comparing apples and oranges, to be honest with you. Like, Darren Waller is getting...
Witten's kind of a receiver.
Yeah, but he's short. Darren Waller is a vertical threat over the field. He's getting 1,200, 1,300 yards.
Jason Witten is a physical freak
Let's go to my favorite free agency team.
Your favorite? The Los Angeles Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Chargers agreed to a contract with former offensive tackle for the Packers, Brian Belaga. Agreed to you guessed it, 3-year, $30 million contract. What are our thoughts on this?
It's an amazing deal. He's one of the top tackles in the league, one of the top right tackles. And even though he has those injury concerns, he has played 30 games in the last 2 years, so maybe that's wearing off a little. And this is just an amazing way to protect this Chargers, whoever their quarterback is. It seems like Tyrod Taylor. But they've had offensive line issues for as long as my life. And just filling in with 3 years at a really solid tackle position for not that expensive is an A-plus move.
Yeah, I agree. It is an A-plus move for me. So the thing I'm going to talk about with all these Chargers signings, I agree with Nick. I actually love all of them. But there is this slight downgrade to all of them. They're all kind of old. And I don't really know. Yeah, and I don't know where the Chargers are going with their franchise. So they're good deals, they're good players, but like, where are you going? And by the way, I love Brian Belaga. I think they got a steal.
And check out our NFC East video for us to absolutely just ramp on the 3-year, $30 million contract.
Absolutely.
But who's next?
I just lost it. Hold on, we're scrolling down for this. Let's talk about Melvin Gordon for 1 second. Melvin Gordon and combine it with Austin Eckler. So Austin Eckler gets a new deal, which I will read to you in 1 second once I get to it.
6 year,
6 years,
24,
$4.75 million, I think.
24 million, I think, in total.
Okay, Austin Eckler got a 4-year, $24.5 million contract, and they're just gonna let Melvin Gordon go. So here's what we talked about: Melvin Gordon. I don't remember which video it is, but you should check them out anyways. Melvin Gordon originally held out the beginning of the year because he thought that he was owed more money than they were willing to give him. So Austin Eckler stepped in and statistically became the best running back in the NFL for like the first 4 years for the first 4 weeks. 4 years of the season. 4 years, 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
This year, Austin Eckler almost had 1,000 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Which is just amazing from the running back.
So the Chargers are pretty much okay with letting him go. What's the market for Melvin Gordon? Because Austin Eckler is obviously better than him at this point.
A report came out today that Melvin Gordon, his contract would have been larger if he took a deal at the beginning of the year than it's going to be now.
Yep, that too. So what's the market for Melvin Gordon? It's a very small market.
There's a team like a Falcons or the Dolphins or something that will go for him. So
yeah,
I'm not too worried about
Todd
Melvin
Gurley
Gordon.
is also on the market right now. There's at the top, there's some pretty good drafting running backs. The market's kind of drying up for running backs.
Yeah, Gurley's a 1-year guy, and I think Melvin Gordon, you can get a few years out of him.
Yeah,
It's
so
I mean,
I'm not
if you
really
want
sure. If you guys had it, first I want to talk about Austin Eckler deal. I've been ripping on running back contracts, but I actually
This is
love
a good
this
one.
one. It's
This is a good
cheap, and they lock up a
brings
really
ton
good
in their
player.
receiving game.
Yeah, and his production is not just as a running back; it's as a receiver mostly.
I like that. I like where the Chargers are going, keeping Eckler, who's a little cheaper, instead of Melvin Gordon.
I think we should. I think we should go into it. Why is it so rare, or why do people not want to pay running backs? Why do people not want to draft running backs in the first round or
because their positional value is just
a great running back with a bad quarterback and a bad offensive line can't do anything.
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where there's a lot of fish in this? Like there's a lot of running backs.
And running backs don't really give you wins. It's just that
Adrian Peterson.
They didn't really win with him. So Adrian Peterson was amazing with no help at all. But did they really win? They never really had potential to win.
Yes, they did not have potential to win, but I'd say that is, even though he didn't break the record, the best rushing season in the history of the sport.
They still didn't win.
But no team is going for the best rushing season in NFL
That's
history.
true.
They're going to go 11-5 and lose in the first round.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's not worth the running back investment. Is the next guy Chris Harris Jr.?
The next one is Chris Harris Jr. signing with the Chargers on a 2-year, $17 million contract that has a max value of $20 million. Thoughts on this?
It's a stacked secondary with him, Desmond King, Casey Hayward, who was really good last year, Derwin James. I think you can never invest too much in your secondary, as we've been saying.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you.
He wasn't too expensive. They can probably put him back in the slot, which is his natural position, where he's just been tearing teams up the whole decade, except they moved him outside last year and he was decent. But I think it's a really good signing for them.
So, it's a really good signing, but you say they move him back to the slot, but Desmond King played a lot of slot last year. And even Casey Hayward got himself. Yeah, Desmond King kind of plays everywhere. I guess I agree with that. Their secondary is looking nice right now. Really nice.
They also got Nazir Adderley in the second round last year, who could be their other safety. He shows a lot of potential. He has really good potential along with Darnell Savage and the Packers. But it's a solid signing. But once again, back to the age. I'm not really sure where they're going. I'm telling you, they're in win now mode. Tyrod Taylor.
But there's a method to the math. Look,
you just expressed the value of the quarterback position. Tyrod Taylor is not.
I think they could make Tyrod Taylor.
Maybe
take a Justin Herbert, but also experiment with a Tyrod Taylor in a Lamar Jackson type role.
Your concerns are understood, but I think there's definitely, who's their coach? I can't think of it. I think it's Joseph. Anthony
Lynn.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn. There's definitely
Anthony Joseph a kid in our grade.
Doesn't matter right now. I think there's definitely a method to his madness because he's getting these old players and he's picking it up, but Phillip Rivers is gone. I like Tyrod Taylor. To be honest with you, I really like Tyrod Taylor at this position.
I like him, but he needs a little pressure. It can't just be Tyrod's job. And
okay.
I kind of think the Chargers.
Why not just throw caution into the wind and just let Tyrod Taylor?
Once this coronavirus thing comes in, I think they might go for Cam Newton at the beginning of the season, who I think is probably just a better Tyrod Taylor. And
you're referring to the physicals, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the physical is the reason he hasn't been signed because no one can give him a good physical.
So I really love the Cam Newton fit. That's been a fit for a while that I thought was pretty good. But if they do end up getting Cam Newton, and if the health ends up checking out for Cam Newton, then I would probably consider them close to being a contender. But you can't tell me with the straight face that the Chargers are going to go 12-4, 13-3 with Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert as starting quarterback.
Justin Herbert or Jordan Love at pick 6 in the draft.
I don't know if you should pick. I don't know if you pick Jordan Love at 6, but I do like Jordan.
I prefer Jordan Love.
I like Jordan Love.
I don't like Jordan Love.
So I don't know. I bet they'll go O-lineman. I bet they'll go Becton because they've expressed lots of interest in him.
Jordan Love reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers coming out of college. To be honest with you, if you think about it this way, so Joe Burrow, comparatively, and the year that Aaron Rodgers got picked in the draft, it was between him and Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers ends up dropping to like 24, 23. Packers get him. So Alex Smith compared to Joe Burrow, they won a lot of games in college. They don't have like a great arm. They have a pretty good arm, but they had a really good season.
You can't compare Joe Burrow.
Jordan Love, raw talent.
You are forgetting something. Jordan Love sucks.
Jordan Love is good.
Touchdowns and 17 interceptions
Yeah,
at
that's
Utah
true.
State.
Yes, but look at sophomore.
Yeah.
Look at his sophomore year. Look at his sophomore year.
Patrick Mahomes comparison.
Okay.
When Patrick Mahomes had like 5,000 yards in college. Jordan Love is not Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I definitely agree with that side on Nick, but I just love Jordan Love's intangibles so much. But back to you can't compare Joe Burrow to Alex Smith. Joe Burrow to Alex Smith is disrespectful. Joe Burrow is one of the best college football quarterbacks ever.
That season. No, the season. The season was one of the best.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, might have been the best.
Let's not beat this horse to death.
Chargers, though.
Let's not beat this horse to death.
They seem really good defensively, especially in the secondary. Their offensive line could use a little work, and we'll see with the quarterback position. But we know in this AFC West division, it's a race with the Chiefs.
Hunter Henry, team plays the franchise tag.
Oh yeah, he gets injured a lot, but he's valuable, so I liked it.
Moving on, Linville Joseph, defensive tackle, agreed to a 2-year, $17 million contract.
This one I love. Yeah, I actually love this one.
Yeah,
he
Jordan
loves this one.
Also, he fits really well.
Okay, I don't love Jordan Love that much.
He fits really well next to Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa because he doesn't need to bring much in the rushing game or in the pass rushing game. He's more of just a run stopper, which is where he fits.
Yeah, he's a great nose tackle. They got him for cheap. 2 years, 17, right?
It's because he's old and doesn't play that many snaps.
He's 31.
Yeah,
Could this potentially be a second win for him though?
No.
I mean, he's always been good, so there's no second win really. He just keeps getting injured. He's just 330 pounds and 32 years old.
All right. My next question for you is, because Trey Turner is in now, could this be a second win for Trey Turner, the offensive guard acquired in a trade with the Carolina Panthers?
It's not a second win. What do you think a second win is, Johnny?
It's a second team. And it's just him doing better this time.
Maybe.
But he was pretty good. He kept making the Pro Bowl just because of his
He was already good, though, so.
Once you make the Pro Bowl once, it's pretty much like you make it for the rest of your career, though.
The fact that Trey Turner
Mitch Trubisky, classic
and
example.
Ryan Ramczyk hasn't made it, it's ridiculous.
Ryan Ramczyk is a premier offensive lineman.
Probably the best tackle in the league. All right.
Yeah.
But I'd say we're done.
To be clear, I like Jalen Hurts a lot, not Jordan Love that much.
Okay.
I just want to...
Okay.
Just wanted to clear
public service announcement.
Thank you for listening. That's it on our divisional free agency rankings.
Saga.
It's been a grind, but it's been a ton of fun.
Saga.
The saga.
Keep checking.
We do have unlimited time, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Not skipping out on anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone. Argue
we'll
us in the comment section. Share with your friends. Like the video. Sponsor from SeatGeek.
We might even be back in the next day or two. So
it's very possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.